And what happened is, I've said all this before, if you go back far enough, but the Holy Spirit intervened as I was about to forgive my brother for, the 78th time throughout the course of our lives, and showed me, well, the Holy Spirit had been concealing from me all my life a memory which I had, which would have probably meant, in fact, the Holy Spirit knows, would have certainly have meant that I would have ended that relationship with my brother. I mean, right from the start, from back then. I mean, in fact, I made that decision at the time. So what happened is I fought harder than I've ever fought in my entire life. It was all with words against my dad. I had to say some really cutting things, and some really cutting things. Basically, some hard truths, and try and prick my dad's conscience. Because my dad used to, after the divorce, he was a good-looking man, and he had lots of women chasing him and stuff. He just wanted to go off. He'd been married for 13 years, split with my mum. He just wanted to go off with women and just, basically just enjoy himself and forget about the fact that he just dump his kids with, you know, forget about his kids basically. And so I was saying, look, well, massive arguments that went on all night. My brother was like crying, going, thank you for fighting for me, because all I was trying to do, I knew he wouldn't take both of us. So I was fighting for my brother to get out of this nightmare. Nightmare. He knows it was a nightmare. He doesn't know half of it because he wasn't there. I got him out, and he lived the life of Riley. With my dad, and I stayed with my mum as we went through just hell. I mean, just absolute hell. I mean, her trying to commit suicide, and with many times she threatened, told me she was going to commit suicide. And my uncles had my Catholic uncles who were there for on Sunday dinners and stuff, and when everything was good. But as soon as my mum went to a nervous breakdown and started screaming and throwing plates and everything else, they did. That was it. Never saw them again. I used to phone up. I used to phone them up, pleading them to help. Or to help get me out of this situation, or to just come round and help, because my mum's had a nervous breakdown, and I've got no one else. I've got no one in the world. My brothers turned my dad against me after I got him out. So I got him out. I mean, they were the hardest arguments I've ever fought in my entire life. They really, really, really psychologically scarred me for life, I think I'd say. But because I mean, at the end of it, my dad said. Brutal arguments. He said, "Okay, I'll take Jamie, but I'm not. After what you've said, I'm not taking you." And my brother, who had been, saying, "You're my hero. Thanks for fighting for me." He was sitting next to my dad, but just behind him, so my dad couldn't see. And he grinned. He had like an expression on his face, and he grinned with like sadistic sort of cruelty and satisfaction, because my dad had just said that he'll take him and not me. And then after that, subsequently, he did, the most vilest things you could ever imagine. Said the most vilest thing. All his life he's been doing that, turning everyone in my family, trying to make out he's the hero and the important one. He's got all the photos. He's got all my family photos. I've got nothing. He's taken my dad's my dad's Pope medal that he got from the Pope, and the rosary beads. He's taken it all. He thinks he's the important one. It's all for him, and he's got it in his safe. So if anyone wants it in future, or they want to see family photos, or like I say, he's taken it all, and it's in his safe at James Moore Jewellers, Warwick Road, Kenilworth, for future generations. Yeah. He'll be shocked to hear that, as it turns out, he wasn't the most important one. But he, like I say, and I looked at his face after I, sacrificed my childhood. Basically, sacrificed any chance of a stable sort of loving, or just normal child, stable. That's what you want when you're a kid. You just want normal. You want stability, and you want You'll never know. Oh, it's just mind-blowingly horrendous. Like, I'll tell you sometime, but well, I had to. I felt like I had to stay with my mum anyway because her brothers had abandoned her, the same ones who now conspired against me, and and in fact they poisoned my mum against me because my uncle was a humanist, and he used to. I don't know how old I am, maybe 11 or something, and I'm sitting in the living room, and for hours and hours and hours, he'd be, telling my mum that we don't need prophets, we need engineers, and just poison. Just it was all. I didn't realise it obviously at the time, but they all knew, and it was just all. And my mum was agreeing with them. I was Jesus, mum. Your son was Jesus, and you. This was what. And like I say, they all abandoned me. So they abandoned me. They know they abandoned me. And they were too scared or whatever or to just, after my mum went mad and was crazy and took it all at me. She used to call me Dave Brown. So my dad was called Dave Brown. But after he'd gone, there was no target left. So she used to call me Dave Brown. And she'd go, "You're Dave Brown." I go, "I'm not, mum. I'm your son, Russell. I'm nothing like my dad, actually. Well, I am, but I'm not nothing like him in the respect that you hate him. I mean, I wouldn't have cheated on my wife. I wouldn't have, because he did. That's what he did, and she found out. Anyway, so I got my brother in that. I got him out of that, but that he, so he pulled that face, that evil face, and I looked at him, and I said, "You traitor." And walked off and sat on my own in a shed, actually, a country shed. And I was just in the darkness, and I just, cried. And I thought I was on my own, but my angels were. I thought I was all on my own. I was only what? I don't know, 14. I was fighting this adult for my brother's sake, and anyway, like I say, I wasn't on my own because my angels were there. I didn't know, but in stealth mode, in sort of blue boiler suits. Because they showed me a photo. They were all in my mind, They showed me that they were there at the second coming. I was never alone. They recorded it all, and to show me that my brother had never changed. My brother was sitting in his new cottage, or his new farm, I should say. He's bought a farm. I've never been there, but he's bought a farm. And he was sitting there in the living room on his own, and he was looking up into thin air. And he had that exact same expression on his face, and he was looking in the direction of one of my angels. My angels was basically hovering in front of him, reading his mind and looking at him in disgust because my brother for some reason could sense that an angel was there in the room looking at him, and he was smirking as if to say, and that's what my angel was telling me. We're not impressed by this sort of attitude that my brother knew. Obviously, he knew there was an angel in front of him watching him, perhaps even reading his mind, and he believed he was better. He could play. He could play us. Basically, he could play us. By giving us the don't hurt me. I'm sorry. No. We draw a line at some point, and that line was drawn when my angel transposed that image of my brother's face grinning that I'd forgotten, that had been concealed from me actually, so I could have a relationship with them all my life, because I decided at that moment it was all over. No, that was the fucking sickest thing I've ever seen. I just fought for you and sacrificed, and you're, grinning. That my dad just said that after what you've said, I don't want to see you again, but I'll take Jamie. Well, and I decided, fucking hell, that's what he's really like. And the angel transposed that face, that exact face, his face, that I'd forgotten about during that argument, the end of that argument, with him grinning onto his face today to show me that he'd not changed. It was the same face. He was exactly the same. It was all fucking bullshit. He hadn't changed. And Russ, we have to teach them that Jesus is not someone who will forgive you forever at judgment. He's not someone who will say, if you say, please don't hurt me, I'm afraid you're going to be hurt. And you're going to have to learn that we draw a line, and you've gone way past that line.